Hi, and a very warm welcome to today's more relaxed, informal approach to complete well-being. I'm Greg Parry. I'm a well-being specialist. And if you work in the environment of well-being, it's amazing how people will come to you looking for advice, for guidance, for some mechanism to help them to overcome their problems and perhaps lead a happier, more fulfilling life. And we tend to look for answers to problems within the domain of our mental faculties. We are justifiably, I guess, proud of how our minds are so capable of thinking logically and clearly, putting the pieces together and coming up with good conclusions. We're very good at planning and visualizing and goal setting. And that's wonderful. It's the faculty that's really led to human beings being just about the dominant species on the planet for the moment. But there's something that we often forget, and that there are deeper levels that we sometimes call the intuition, deeper levels of perception that we tend to ignore, particularly in our culture. And when people ask me for advice, particularly on sensitive subjects, which are going to affect them very, very personally, rather than just handing out an answer or using my own observations to come up with some kind of a solution, what I usually suggest is that people learn to listen to their own hearts, to listen to that deeper level of emotional interpretation. And it's something which sometimes seems a little bit strange within the context of our culture. But human beings have extraordinarily powerful abilities to sense all kinds of things. And that's why when we use the metaphor of listening to our hearts, we're much more likely to come up with a good answer to the problems that we're facing. And this is something that I'd like you to consider because, well, it's commendable that we use our minds to think things through, to use logic and reason to help us to get a better picture of what's going on and how best to deal with the challenges around us. Particularly in the domain of your personal life, the issues which affect you very deeply. If you can take a little time to slow down, to pause, to breathe more deeply, and just feel what your body is trying to communicate. Your body is an incredibly sensitive, receptive instrument. It's picking up data from all over the place, which we largely ignore. But when you relax, think, well, how does my stomach feel in response to this question? What is my gut reaction? Is there an instinctive reaction that says, ooh, don't do this, or that could be good? When we listen is probably not the most appropriate word, but when we feel how the heart is responding. And actually, it was a good friend of mine who used to say this to me all the time. He said, Greg, you're thinking it through, and that's great, but what does your heart say? What does my heart say? But it helped me to understand that when we take time to become more aware of this deeper level of physical reaction, we can get a really strong indication of where we're going to find the best answer to our situation, which is the best path to follow. And it can apply to anything, particularly things that affect you personally. Is this really good for me? Yeah. No. And that reaction, that deep, we call it a gut feeling because we're really lacking an adequate vocabulary to describe how this works. But we've known, probably for hundreds of thousands of years as a species, that this deep intuitive faculty is something that has helped us to survive. It's a very strong guiding principle. And there's more, because I think when you listen to your heart, you'll discover that the message is trying to help you to understand what is really best for you. And if it's good for you, there's a very high probability it's not going to hurt or harm anybody else. Interesting, huh? Because I think at a deeper level we understand intuitively that we really are connected to others. The way we treat other people is often an extension of what we really feel about ourselves. And you get this deeper sense of acceptance and understanding for yourself. It tends to ripple out and touch other people's lives as well. What do you think? Are you going to start listening to your body, getting advice from your heart? Well, if you'd like to comment, my email address is in the description below. See how it works for you. And in the meantime, have a wonderful day.